Alright, what's up? It's been a little bit since I've done a video, but here's Gus. He's doing the same old thing, being a fat cat laying on the couch, and he's now my sleeping buddy. He sleeps with me every single night right next to my head. He's like a big fuzzy pillow, so I don't mind it at all. But he chills like that during the day. Now, on to what really matters. So, this is the Durban.Poison plant that I actually had outside. I started it outside and then brought it in. You know, everybody says you're not supposed to do that, but I did it, and just made sure I really sprayed it good with, IPM stuff, just so there was no spider mites or anything like that. But it is now time to harvest it. Checked the trichomes yesterday. They were just where I want them to be. They were like 70% cloudy, 30% amber. For me, that's the total perfect number. You'll hear a bunch of numbers from everybody else, but I like them when they're 70 cloudy, 30 amber. So I took it down. Then, here's what the tent looks like after I chopped all the branches off. So my strategy is to leave that trellis up and clip underneath the trellis and then pull the branches up through it. And then I pile them up in this little bin right here just until later, until I can trim them. But the goal now is to get that trellis out of there, get that pot out of there, bring it outside, and then clean this entire tent, sanitize it, and get it ready for the next grow. So I'm going to go through the process on that a little bit and just kind of how I did it. But that pot will end up outside, and then I'll reuse the medium for next year, for outdoor grows. I'll do another video on that as well, just so you can see it. But this is me preparing to clean. So there's the pot with the stem in it. I'm going to take that outside. There's the trellis that I took out. And there's a bucket that I use to collect any leaves and stems, because I compost all that stuff. So the tent right there is looking a little bit dirty at this point, but I got my shop vac down there on the floor, got my, rubbing alcohol in that little bottle right there with the white towel, and then a couple of white towels. The towels that I use I don't condone stealing, but every time I go to a hotel, I just make sure I take a towel, because then it ends up being a plant towel. Here is the alcohol. So I use the stronger version. I use the 91%. Mix this with water. I don't do any type of ratio. I don't do any type of measuring. I fill the bottle up with water about 3/4 of the way, and then the rest of it is alcohol. I just dump alcohol in there, and then I mix it all up. So here's just regular water going in here, just regular sink water. Fill it up to about, maybe like 80% of the way. You'll see kind of where I stop. Then once I feel like it's good, which is pretty much right there, all right, cool, great. Now I take the alcohol that I had and I just dump it in there. No measuring, no nothing, just dump. If it spills out on the ground, which it's gonna do, it's all right, whatever. You just wipe it up. It's alcohol, so if anything, it just sanitizes stuff that it touches. I don't really care. So I just fill it, put the top back on the spray bottle, and then this is the bottle I will use to spray the walls and everything else. Now, here we go. There's the bottle. I used a little bit, so that's why it looks a little bit, but I spray everything. So I spray all the walls, the fans, the wires. The only thing I don't spray is the light, because I don't want to have the light getting wet. But then I go through and wipe it with a wet towel just to cover it. But the walls, the poles, the little tray on the bottom, I usually leave it in, but I take the straps out so I can kind of get underneath it. I spray everything. So I've actually done 2 of these bottles, but I'm only showing you me spraying a little bit, but I did it with 2 full bottles of alcohol and water. Then I go through and I wipe. There are the pieces of the fan that I took the fronts of the fan off to make it a little easier to clean it. Now, those little 2 black things are just the screw parts for the fan. There's the light. I'm just gonna wipe it. I end up taking that dehumidifier tube out of there, but I did go through this and wipe every single surface with these towels, and then I dried it. So I did 2 towels that I used for wet wiping. 1 towel was just to dry it. Now here's the tent after it's clean, and then there's the branches right there, the same bin. Now I'm gonna go on to actually hanging these. This is the important part. I'm not gonna spend a ton of time getting every single little leaf off at this point. It's not worth it. I'm just gonna do the big stuff. So get any big fan leaves off, any big stems, anything that's like little popcorn buds or whatever, just take them off. Then I hang each branch right there from one of the green plant ties. So those green plant ties, then they go into the rack like this, and I push them through, and then I basically hang it from the top. I can't really do it with one hand, but you'll see how it, it goes through like that. I tuck the thing around, and then I hang it. So that's me about, I don't know, maybe like 30% of the way through, but here is how I hang them up. And I do it like this because I don't want them to be resting on the ground. I mean, not the ground, like the base, like I don't want them laying on the net. So I hang them. Then after that, that's just the thing outside. That's going to be composted, and that'll be fine. That'll be another video. But this is the clean tent, all cleaned up, shop vac. I went through, I vacuumed everything. Here's all of the buds hanging, or some of those little ones I just threw them on the net because I really didn't have time to hang those little things up. Those are all little like popcorn buds, whatever. So they'll be fine. I'm gonna take that drying rack, I'm gonna close it up with the zippers, I'm gonna move it to another location, and then I have a fan that I'm just gonna run the fan underneath it. So you can't see it on here, but underneath this is a box fan, just kind of like keeping the air moving around. It's not blowing directly on the flowers, it's just blowing underneath. So next step, trim gel. Thank you everybody for watching. Come on back, check me out. I'll give you some more updates on how I trim and all that other fun stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, makes a big difference to me. Keeps me motivated in terms of making these videos.